Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks so much for stopping by today. Today I am making a happy birthday fairy card, and I'm going to be doing some shadow stamping. I don't know what it's called. Shadow stamping, double stamping, multiple stamping, layering stamping, something like that. But I'm going to go ahead and use some Fairy Hugs products. So I am using the Birthday Wishes, which is this birthday sentiment. I am also going to be using the Meadow Grass stamp, and then the tiny little fairies from the Condo Dwellers 2 stamp set. And I am using a piece of watercolor paper cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to start out with the Meadow Grass stamp, and so I'm just going to set that in my stamping positioner, and I'm going to be using this charming pink from the Versafine Clair inks. This is a pigment ink, so it is a permanent waterproof ink. And so I'm going to go ahead and ink that up a few times. And then I'm going to clean off the stamp with a baby wipe, and then wipe it with my towel to make sure that there is no liquid residue from that baby wipe. And then I'm going to pull the stamp up, and I'm going to layer it over the first image. So I want it to be slightly offset from the original stamped image. So it's really easy to do this with the clear stamps. So you're just going to look through the stamp and see where your original image is, and then push it to the right slightly. And then I'm going to add another color, and this is a Versafine Clair as well, and this is Morning Mist. So I'm going to ink that up, and that's going to be my shadow stamp basically. And I'm going to do this multiple times across the card. My intention at first was just to do one stamp, and then I thought I would go ahead and do it multiple times and see how that turned out. And with this stamp, especially towards the bottom, it gives this really cool kind of pattern just because it's layered so many times. So I just went ahead and repeated that pink gray pattern all across the card. And then I'm going to put a little bit of holographic embossing powder over that. Some of it has dried, but for the most part the ink stays wet fairly long, and so I was able to get that holographic embossing powder on there. And I'm heating this from the back so that I don't lose any of that little sparkly pieces. And it really truly is holographic. You can really see that when it moves into the light. And then I'm going to take a little bit of picked raspberry distress spray and spray that on my panel. And then I'm just taking a paper towel and kind of blotting up a lot of that excess. And then I'm going to take the Salvaged Patina spray and do the same with that, blot the excess up, and then wipe that off of that embossed area. And once that has dried, I'm taking a Lavinia Elements. This is a dye ink, and this is in the color Truffle. And I'm going to go around the outside really dark, and then I'm going to go in towards the center a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to spritz that with water to get that distressed look, and mop up that water with a paper towel. And I thought it was a little busy for what I wanted, so I went ahead and I grabbed a die from my stash. This is a paper rose die called Scalloped Oval Frames, so that I could kind of break up all of that busyness in the background. And then I also ran that die through to create that black frame piece. And I'm just taking a piece of scratch paper and I am putting that underneath, and I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling on that. So I'm using this stencil. This is by Echo Park. It's called Always and Forever, and I have used this a ton. I absolutely love it, and I don't think it's available any longer though, but in case you are wondering what that stencil is or you have it in your stash, it is called Always and Forever by Echo Park. And I'm going to take a Distress Oxide ink in the color Tattered Rose, and I'm just going to use my blending brush and blend that across that entire panel. And then that panel is going to be adhered underneath that main panel of the card. And then I'm going to take another stencil, and I think this is a honeybee stencil, but I am not positive. And I am using some of the Twinkles by Creative Expressions. This is called Sparkle Star. So I just wanted a few little sparkle stars on there. And then I will take some of the little fairies from the Condo Dwellers 2 stamp set, and some Versafine Clair in the Nocturne color, and my little stamping block, and just stamp up those little fairies. And then I will go ahead and adhere my frame piece. And then the actual sentiment stamp was too big to fit into that die cut that I had created. And so what I'm going to do is take some all over sticky notes. You can use tape or anything that, or you can even just lay paper on there, just as long as it masks off the areas that you don't want inked up. So I'm going to ink up the portion that says a birthday, and I'll stamp that onto my panel, and then I'll go ahead and follow that same process for the rest of the sentiments. The stamp will be on 3 lines instead of the 2 lines that are on the actual stamp. And then once I've got that done, I just add a few little embellishments. I'm using some liquid pearls, and if these are available, I will link them, but I am not sure. A lot of the ones I've been finding lately are older, and so they're not available. But the colors I'm using are Orchid, Hydrangea, that, and Pewter. And that will finish off my card for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it or find it informative, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. And as always, I thank you so much for stopping by today, and I hope to see you next time.